All right. So this is Danny.
Daniel Washington, and I'm standing in Tulsa, Oklahoma in my family's business on Black Wall Street. Let me tell you some true history about Black Wall Street they don't talk about. Black Wall Street was over 300, it was I can't speak, 3.5 miles, 40 blocks. It was one of the richest places in the United States at that time. And they got destroyed less than 18 hours. From May 30th, they arrest a black boy for accusing of raping a white lady in the elevator. So that whole story was actually a lie. That black boy, his name is Dick Rowland. The elevator worker, her name is Sarah Page. So Dick Rowland and Sarah Page was actually a couple. She lived down here with his mother. He helped her get that job on the elevator, so that day she was telling him she was pregnant. Two white men seen them two close together, didn't like that, so that's when they accused Dick Rowland of raping her. So while he was in jail, we had a reporter who wrote this article and basically lied about the whole incident. So the next day, a white mob read this article and tried to lynch him with no trial. Our black World War veterans came to fight for his justice, and one gunshot started the whole massacre. We don't know who shot the first gunshot. But people don't know, during the midst of the massacre, they actually let Dick Rowland out of jail. He came back down here to pick up Sarah Page and left the state. First state they traveled to was Kansas. They traveled to Boston, got married, and they lived the rest of their days in Chicago, where they had kids and grandkids. So you don't hear this out of the massacre because it changed the whole perspective. This massacre was already planned. You can't order bombs to drop less than a day or two. This was the first terrorist attack on Americans by Americans. It was 6 planes that dropped bombs on this land. 3 military planes, the National Guard, and 3 private, Sinclair Oil. While you drive through Oklahoma and drop by a gas station with a green dinosaur or Sinclair, it was their company. Like I said, Black Wall Street was 3.5 miles, 40 blocks. Nothing but black-owned businesses.
And completely got destroyed.
Yes, sir. Less than 18 hours.
That's
this
insane.
Poster right here was the men and women. Out of all these men, there were 7 millionaires. They'd be billionaires, maybe trillionaires today's time. People don't know 60% of Black Wall Street was helped managed to ran by women. That's how we were so wealthy. So how I know this information? Because my family's a great descendant. So this lady on top of this poster over here is my dad's great aunt. So her name is Cansetti Smith. She was a midwife during the time of Black Wall Street. So she helped give birth to 209 babies. She was 21 at the time of this massacre. The lady at the bottom is her youngest daughter, Leila Foley Davis. Miss Leila Foley Davis was the first black female mayor in the United States, right out of Taft, Oklahoma. And Miss Leila is still living. She's 84. She helped him afford the Carter, and she met Obama.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of history down here they don't teach about.
No.
Now, have you heard of an R&B singer named Charlie Wilson?
I haven't. Oh, he was telling me about it. He was telling me about it.
So, for the people watching Charlie Wilson, he's an R&B singer. Before he went solo, he had a band with his 2 brothers. It's called the Gap Band.
Yeah.
So the Gap Band stands for the 3 main streets to Black Wall Street. So Greenwood, Archer, and Pine is what the Gap Band stands for. So they had a famous song in the early 70s. It's called Drop a Bomb on It. So that song, Drop a Bomb on Me, is talking about the Tulsa Massacre.
Wow. Well, man, I appreciate you, dude.
Appreciate you.
That's man. I've been schooled on my lessons today.
And I'm gonna show you this picture for the video.
Okay.
So the red outline how big Black Wall Street was.
Okay.
The yellow in the middle is where we at now.
Okay. Wow. And all of this was gone.
Yeah, all this is gone.
Wow. And when did they rebuild, man?
So a lot of people know we actually rebuilt it right after the massacre.
Okay.
So it's a famous mural on the wall, and it's actually this picture right here on this painting. So that picture was taken in 1937. So the buildings that's standing outside are rebuilds. The one across the street was rebuilt in 1922. This building right here was rebuilt in 1923. So just a couple years later, we actually rebuilt the whole area, but it was never the same. So after the massacre, we had to put the buildings through the state. Now we got to pay taxes. Then they start doing urban renewal, gentrification, and they add a highway right through the middle of the neighborhood like they always do. And so they just left us with these 2 buildings. And it's sad.
Yeah. Man. Well, again, I appreciate it. You're sharing, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.